don't worry, come over. Hello, we're not starting yet. We just thought we'd get up and running and see who's following, and we'll wait a while for our biscuit making workshop today. I've got my little helpers here. Say hello to Max and Erin. Erin's going to be baking along with me, and Max is going to be looking out for all your questions. So just bear with us while we set up, because he's got the laptop. So I'm going to pass over to Mr. Boozy Bakers, who is going to be cameraman for us. Hi Gemma. So just bear with us, because this is learning. Right, I'm going to hand over. There we go. Right, and let's get you on. Hang on. How do we refresh? Say hello, Erin.
Hi.
We got Josie and Adele with us.
Hello. I'll be back in a minute. We're just going to see if Max can be following the questions. We will in a minute, Max. Otherwise, you can go and help Daddy on there and answer the questions.
We've also got Rob, and with Adele we've got Kaylee and Lauren.
Right.
All excited to bake with you today.
Excellent. Right. Let's see what we can find here. There you go, Max. So you can see how many people are watching, and you can follow the comments. So you should... Can we have a comment from someone just so we can see it appear for Max to follow? At all?
Yeah.
Oh, well done. Excellent. Brilliant. So you know what you're doing now?
Yeah.
Excellent. Hello again. So we've got all of our ingredients out and ready. So we'll be weighing things and explaining things as we go, and in real time as well as you. So if you miss a step or you need clarification or anything, just ask and we can repeat it. Where are people baking from? Obviously you're home, hopefully, but where in the country are you, or are you a different country? We'd love to know. How many people have you got watching now, Max?
We have 51.
51. Okay, we'll give a few more minutes, because I know what I'm like. If I'm not hosting something, I'm probably late to it, so we'll give it a couple more minutes. We'll put it back on in a second. Well done. Yep.
We have Neat Reid from Denmead, Rob Bonner from Borden, Adam from Petersfield, and Lisa Murray from
Egham.
Egham in Surrey.
Can everyone hear Max, or do we need Max to speak up a little bit? Might need to speak up a little bit.
You've also got Anne in Gerrards Cross and Mark Van Wyk in Liss.
Hi, Mark! And congratulations on the new job! Right, we've got two boys behind the cameras, one of which is learning as he goes. Max is 10, he's soon to be 11, and this is a bit of a highlight of his day to get a bit technical. And Erin is 9 this week, so we've got to make a birthday cake later this week, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've got Anne Very in Leeds.
Right, do you think we can start? What I'm going to ask is, as we go along, we'll do various steps. And when you've completed the step, if you give a thumbs up, if we see a flurry of thumbs up, we kind of know that we're going at the same pace as you guys. So if you're ready to start, give us a thumbs up. Don't like looking at a camera saying nothing. You got some thumbs up? Yeah? Right. Max, can you go and close doors for me for a second, otherwise we have problems. Thank you. Right, okay, so...
Yeah, loads of thumbs up. Yeah.
Loads of thumbs up, brilliant. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the butter. So we're using 100% butter in ours. If you are using margarine, that's not a problem at all. You are looking for 225 grams of butter. If it's hard, because if you're anything like me, you forgot to take it out of the fridge, Put it in the microwave for just 15 seconds, or thereabouts, just to soften it up a bit, because we're going to be beating it by hand, unless you happen to have a Boozy hand mixer, but I don't, I'm doing it by hand. So get your butter going. I've put it into chunks just to make it a bit easier. I'm going to put mine in the microwave now, so bear with me. Erin's going to keep you entertained. And if you can hear my microwave going.
We've got Fiona Wright, hello from Cleethorpes, and a Len Janet Gilbert, hi from Leicester.
Oh, hello! I'm a Leicestershire girl originally. Right, what I haven't told you about these biscuits is not only are they delicious, but they're actually really quite economical, because we're going to show you how to make them and store them so you only use what you want to eat. So if you want to eat masses of them, it's not a problem. But this doesn't require any rolling or any cutters, so you don't have too much equipment for these. They taste amazing. You can do variations of them. So we'll just explain as we go along. Right, Erin, you ready to get mixing?
Okay.
Okay. Right, so we've got all our butter, and I don't know why I'm switching bowls, because we could have just used that. Do you want to just beat that in for me, Erin? It's quite a tough job to do this bit, so it might take a while. Looking good. You'll find if you've got margarine, it is going to be softer. That's not a problem. Just bear with us with the butter, because it's just that bit harder.
We have Arlene from Southeast London.
Hi! Oh, I'll tell you who we have got. We've got Debbie, Debbie Stimpson, who's joined in, and I know they're having a family bake-off, which is brilliant. I love that. So good luck to everyone in Debbie Stimpson's family with their bake-off.
Helen Blackwell from Milton Keynes is with us, and you made a wedding cake 2 years ago.
I did! Hello, Helen! Right, do you want me to do do you want some help? Yeah, a bit of muscle going. I find if you're trying to beat butter, squish it. Use the back of your spoon just to give it a bit of a squish. That's alright. Just helps just to break it down a bit. You alright, Max? Got any questions?
Not that I can see.
That's alright.
There's a couple of people washing their hands, so slow down and give them a
Oh,
chance
yes,
to...
sorry, you're right, I'm terrible. We did that before we started, and I'm very sorry. Yes, you should always wash your hands before you bake. But very, very sorry. I'm actually a little bit nervous doing this, because obviously there's quite a few of you watching, and it's live baking, and it's not my usual thing. I'm more face-to-face, so please bear with me.
And so hi to a Becky Weaver, former colleague of mine.
Hi, Becky. Yes, Max.
We have Susanna here who did their wedding cake.
Susanna Estevez.
Hello, yes I did. I remember that. We went and delivered it. Erin, do you remember? With all the fruits on top? Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Right. Want to help? There we go. So it is quite tough, but we're going to break this down soon. We're going to add some other ingredients. So, how are we doing? We got many thumbs up for this part? You can wait longer, it's not a problem. And if you've got little hands, and if you're a child doing this, it's the tougher bit. You can always put it back in the microwave for a few seconds just to soften it up again.
Yep, thumbs up coming through.
Thumbs up coming through. I've been wondering about which ones to do. We've actually held this workshop twice now over Zoom with some of Erin's friends. And it's worked really well, so having had success twice, we thought, well, okay, we'll put it on our page. But we may do some more of these. We've even considered maybe doing some private ones and doing some different workshops. So if you're interested in that, do let me know. Yes, Max, what questions do you have?
Susanna asks, are you taking orders?
Yes, we have an online shop at www.boozybakers.co.uk. We did experience some problems with it this morning as it seemed to disappear. It's now been rectified, it's back online, and you can order brownies, marshmallows, cakes, biscuits, and that's all online. If you're local, if you're a PO7 or a PO8 postcode, we're actually offering hand delivery. We're doing it once a week. We're trying to keep with our own lockdown, so it's the 22nd of April this week. Well done.
You've been asked what temperature to bake them at as well.
Oh, good question. So when we get to that point, it depends how fast your oven is. You want it at 180 degrees. So whoever asked that, well done. You should be here instead of me. Right. Do you think we can move on to the next bit? Yeah? Right. I can always slow down, so just let me know if you need me to slow down. What we're going to do now is we're going to measure out 225 grams of sugar. So we're using caster sugar, but if the only thing you have is granulated, that's flour. I know. That's fine.
Is that in a fan oven temperature?
Oh yeah, so ours is a fan oven at 180. You're only cooking it for about 10-12 minutes. I wouldn't make it too much higher.
Mark asks, where are you getting flour from in lockdown?
We've actually got a wholesaler, so we have to order quite a bit in bulk to be able to get it all. But to be honest, even flour, it's why we're doing weekly at the moment. It's because we didn't get all the flour ourselves. We got 1 week that it didn't arrive. So I know it's 225, Erin. It's hard to get hold of, I know. Although hopefully getting easier now. How are we doing? Yes, Max. What question do we have?
Debbie asks, how are you doing, and if you can say hi to her mum who is doing this while self-isolating at home.
Of course we can. Hello to Debbie's mum. I'm glad you're able to join us, and I hope you're enjoying it. You can tip that in. I've heard, is that Debbie Stimpson?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard all about your family bake-off, and I'm really impressed. Really, really impressed. I think we're going to have to do it as well. Right, so if you've got your sugar, as I said, it can be caster sugar or granulated. We're using caster sugar. And what you need to do, especially, I'd love to know how many children we've got doing this, but you need to mix it now until your sugar has disappeared. So well done, Erin.
Rebecca Morris asks, how much flour?
So we haven't got to the flour yet, but you're going to need 330 grams of the flour. At the moment, we've just added 225 grams of sugar. So you're going to keep mixing the butter and the sugar together, and you want to do it, well done, Erin, until you can't see the sugar. No, you're going to get mussels, aren't you? If we've got any young people here who would struggle with this, but mums want them to get involved, I've got a really good tip. If you have something like an IKEA bag, you can put the ingredients in and get them to squish it with their hands in the bottom of the bag. So, I mean, it's quite fun for them to get squishing anyway, but it's easier than them trying to stir it. If there is, well done, that looks really good. If there is a call for it, we could always do another workshop at a younger audience.
Then we got our furthest viewer yet. Jane Beveridge has just joined from Perth in Scotland.
Ah, nice to have you here with us. Not yet. We've got something else to come. I know you're eager. How's everyone doing? Are we doing all right? Have we got mixed in creamed butter and sugar?
Gemma asks, are you mixing sugar?
Yeah, it's butter and sugar. That's all we've got so far. So we creamed the butter first, and then we've added the sugar. So that's how your mix should look now. Yes, Max.
Adele says that she's lost you, and Gemma Hines says it's paused.
Has it paused?
Not that I can
Are
see.
we still saying we're live?
Still says live.
Can everyone give us a thumbs up if they can
Yeah,
see us?
we're getting hearts and thumbs.
Okay, so just to recap for anyone that lost us, we've done 225 grams of the butter, and we've done 225 grams of sugar, and we've mixed it together so you can't see the sugar anymore. Hope everyone's with us. We will make this video saved afterwards, so you can go back and follow it. But we just tried to do it a bit slower so we can all bake together, because we'll have a bit of fun with you.
They're all coming back on now.
Yeah. It might be whatever that bing went on the phone, dislodged it. We have said to my mum, who may be watching, she is apparently, please don't message, because I watched someone who had someone message them at the same time as they were doing a live video and it affected their feed. So if you do know me, please don't message me at all at the moment, and I'll catch up with you afterwards. And hi Mum.
You've got Anne and Laura watching from Marske by the Sea in North East England.
Oh, that sounds very nice. Has everyone got rain today? We're dry at the moment. But it looks a bit cloudy out there. Where are you going?
Just to get the egg.
Oh, I can get you the egg. You know what you're doing, don't you?
Jill Pink says, can I use strong white flour instead of plain flour?
I would imagine so, yeah. I haven't got my phone on me to Google what the effects of that would be, but I think you'll be alright. Go for it. Right. Are we all ready for the next step? If you have young children, I would say let them have a go at this. So this is how I do this. So you've got your egg, just one egg that you need next. Now, if like us you're using a plastic bowl, don't try and crack an egg on a plastic bowl. It's not going to work. Erin, I've got a spoon. I'll use a spoon. So I'm going to let Erin do this in a minute. But if you take your spoon and keep it and the egg in one hand, keep it over the bowl. What I do is I crack the egg on the spoon, so anything that is messy goes straight in anyway. And then I prise it open with my thumbs.
Don't try and get eggs.
So a bit of pressure on you. You're going to get no eggshell in the mix, yeah?
Yeah, no eggs.
Right, Erin's going to do it for us. So over the bowl.
Yucky.
So we can solve it if shell goes in. We can solve it. So you're going to have to go a bit harder than that. Well done. So I'll take that away. And thumbs. Well done. You've done it really well. Excellent.
If you get eggshell in, try and actually get out.
Yeah, that's right. If you get shell in, then you can take it out with another piece of shell. Yes, Max?
Asha doesn't have any plain flour.
You
And
self-raise.
she asks if she can use pasta flour.
Yeah, pasta flour is a finer flour, but you should be fine. Or self-raising if you have it. I mean, I think, and I'd imagine some bread makers might correct me, but different flours have different properties. But on the whole, for what we're doing, we're not trying to get loads of air in. It's going to be a dough, so I'd imagine you'll be fine doing that. Yes. Have you got any other questions, or are we all right so far?
What size egg?
And a medium egg should be about 60 grams. If it's a bit smaller, don't worry. You can always add a bit of water or milk. And if it's a bit bigger and your dough doesn't come together, we'll just add another teaspoon of flour. So don't worry too much, but just a medium-sized egg is fine. And then once you've cracked that in, and you've rescued any shell bits that might have got in, just give it a really good stir up. Have you got any questions, Max, or is everyone doing all right?
Everyone's doing all right.
Excellent. I don't know if you can hear Max or not. I'm hoping you can hear me all right. I tried to be a bit louder.
Got one person saying that the baker's voice is very faint, so...
Okay, I'll try to do my best. It's the distance between the phone and me, so hopefully you can hear me. So have we all been able to mix our egg in? Are we all up to that? Have we got lots of thumbs up for that part? part. Well done, Erin. A bit gooier now, a bit easier to mix. Well done.
Okay.
Yes, Max.
Is there a knack to being a baker? Because I struggle with everything.
I think the knack is to enjoy experimenting. Yeah, just have a go. Read a few recipes. If something goes wrong, maybe look at different recipes and what the differences are and what you could do differently. Making marshmallows has been my biggest challenge, and that's taken quite a while to perfect, and it's just not getting downhearted and just keep trying. It'd be interesting to see. You have to tell me how these go afterwards. What's the matter, Max? Oh, bear with me. Just press it again. Right. It's alright.
Rebecca Morris is saying you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
That was our third ingredient.
That was our third ingredient. So we've done butter, sugar and egg now. Yeah?
Those are in order.
Yes. So have we got the thumbs up going? Are we alright to continue? Right, so we're going to add 330 grams of flour. Now, we've used plain, but you can use self-raising. We've tried it with a few different. If you've got something different, just put the flour in and let's see how it goes. So 330, that's weighed out for you already. So you don't have to sieve this. We've tried to make this as easy as possible. Again, we're not trying to put loads of air into it, so just chuck it in. Now, also at this stage, you can either leave it like this and you will have a delicious cookie, or you can add other flavourings. So we did suggest on our post that you could use chocolate chips or raisins. Raisins, Erin? You sure? We could swap this for raisins if you'd like, no? The other thing you could do is maybe use some lemon zest if you wanted to have a different flavour. Don't worry, we're a bit messy. So, do you want some chocolate chips in yours, Erin? Yeah? So this is basically, use as many as you would like in your, stop it, as much as you would like in your biscuits. This is 100 grams, so we're going to use half a pack, Erin, about 50 grams, yeah? Yeah. Okay, you're going to use your hands, or you're going to tip it straight in? Okay. So if you mix it with the flour, then they'll separate a bit more. Is that enough, Erin? I think that's enough, Erin. I think that's enough, Erin. Right. That's fine. No. You've had lots of Easter egg. You can do without chocolate for a minute.
If you haven't got chocolate chips, you can cut chocolate up as well and use that.
Absolutely. You could put bits of Easter egg in. You could get a bar of chocolate and just give it a bit of a cut up. I didn't have any chocolate chips the other day, so I just cut up just a regular bar of chocolate. Is anyone else putting things in theirs, or are we keeping it as just the basic cookie recipe? I'd love to hear if you've got something different you're doing.
You could even do fruit.
You could put some cherry pieces in, couldn't you?
But this is my favourite.
Well, you could try it anyway, and then you can make it again and add something different, couldn't you?
Maybe you can even make, like, you can melt some sprinkles and then you put, like, a kind of sauce into the biscuit.
Well, actually, you saying that, if you want to have a bit of fun, particularly at Christmas time, you can put a hole, cut a hole out of your biscuits, but this requires rolling and cutting. And if you get a bit of boiled sweet and crush it and put little sprinkle bits in the middle, you get like a stained glass window effect on your biscuit. Yes, Max?
We have somebody asking about cocoa powder, chocolate or gum because of lockdown. What about cocoa powder? Chocolate or gum?
Yeah, if you want to put some cocoa powder in, you can. You'll need to take some of the flour out though to do that. Or you might, if you've already put the flour in, add a bit of cocoa, and then you might need just a little bit of milk to make the dough the right consistency. Got another question?
Gemma asks, could I use frozen berries?
Yeah? They'll melt quickly. It might be an idea to break the pieces up particularly with raspberries. Just crush them a bit into it, but yes.
And Joe Peace said, I'm putting in crushed mini eggs.
Oh, I like that. That sounds good. Really like the sound of that.
Yeah.
We've got Gemma's using fudge pieces and Mark's using raisins.
I've used fudge pieces actually, and that does work. It's really yummy.
I like fudge.
And raisins, I like raisins. You just don't like raisins, do you?
No.
Mm.
Oh, actually, I do like raisins.
Oh, now
but
you
honest
say it. Now
iron.
you've got the chocolate in it.
Only honest iron. I don't like it in biscuits or.
I mean, I suppose you could use bits of crushed nuts as well. You have to get experimenting. What are you thinking? We will do later, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to do a Blue Peter and do here's one I made earlier for you later. Right, so if you've mixed that... Yes, Max?
Somebody put dried apple pieces.
Yeah, dried apple pieces sounds good.
And Josie's asked, why does her dough look like cake mix? It's not doughy at all.
Have you used margarine? If you've used margarine, you might find that it's a softer mix. And that's not a problem. I will talk you through that when we come to the next bit. Is it a margarine thing? Yes.
Well, the laptop's gone.
The laptop's gone.
Haywire. No, haywire.
Okay, well you can always stand by Daddy and look at the messages on there.
You're getting asked about can you use apples. Adam's using giant Cadbury buttons and Anne is using rainbow choco and milk chocolate egg.
Sounds really good.
And yes, Josie is using Marge.
Yeah, so if you're using Marge, if it doesn't look like that, it's because margarine is just a softer spread. Don't worry, it'll still work. We did this the other day. And I will go through the differences as to what we do next, depending on whether you've used margarine or butter, but it's not a problem at all.
Wait, hang on. Is there
Are we still live now?
Yeah.
is there any milk in this?
You can refresh it, or just read the comments with
Do
Daddy.
we need to put any milk in?
No, unless it's really, really floury, that's how it should be looking. And you shouldn't need to put anything extra in, unless you've put more powder in. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you now. Yes.
Rob asks, can we put small marshmallows in?
Yes.
Oh,
do it.
Yummy.
Of course, we have to taste test all of these just to make sure they worked. Let's put that there for a minute. I'm going to use just a tiny bit of flour just on the worktop, but we're not rolling this out. I just want to show you. You should be able to get your hand in now and push that together. Now, if you're margarine, you may not be able to do this part, so hang on and I will explain what we're going to do for you guys.
Rebecca just wants confirmation, can they use apples?
Yeah. Just cut up the smaller slices. You're not cooking it for very long, so nothing should really burn. So I'd say, yes, try it. I'd imagine dried things will maybe a little bit better, unless you do smaller pieces, because you might release lots of moisture into the biscuit. That looks good, Erin. Right. Yes. If it's still not working, don't worry, just go off.
The entire.
Okay, so just work off that. Okay, right. We don't need to knead it.
Aww.
It's alright, I know you like kneading. So, if you've used butter, you should have a bowl like that. If you haven't used butter, leave it in the bowl for a minute, and I will tell you what we're going to do next. Max, could you pass me the cling film, please?
Yep.
Right, if you've used butter and you have a dough, what you can do is roll this out, and I'll show you why actually. Max, could you pass me my here's one I made earlier roll? Thank you. What we're going to do is we're going to roll it out and we're going to cover it with cling film. And the reason why is because we're going to leave it to set in the fridge. And if you roll it out, you're able to cut it as you want it. So I will demonstrate. Can I demonstrate?
Can I show them something? The chocolate chips are actually all spread out now.
They are. Should we unwrap it?
They're very yummy.
Max, we have the knife as well, and I can show. If you've used margarine, don't worry, I haven't forgotten you. I'm going to come back to you with this. So this one's been chilled, which is why it's pretty solid. And the idea is that you can cut about a finger's width. Don't chop your finger off with it. You can cut it like that and put it on a baking tray, and that will make one nice cookie. And then the rest of it you can put in the back in the cling film, or obviously cut 6 off or something. But you can put that back in cling film and put it back in the fridge, and you can leave it in the fridge for like a week. So if you've got kids like me, or you just can't resist biscuits, it just stops you eating them all at once. So what you're going to make, we'll start rolling it out now, but you'll make about 14, maybe even a few more biscuits with this. So you can just, and it doesn't take long to cook them, so it's quite good for keeping going in the week as a snack, and you're not too tempted to keep going and eating them all. So, do you think that's quite right, Erin?
Yeah.
Should we get some new cling film, or do you think we can reuse this?
Use this.
Okay.
It's very long.
We've got some questions.
Gemma Hines saying they're using apple, raisin and cinnamon in theirs.
Oh, lovely.
Sounds nice. And your mum's asked, do you need to grease the baking tray?
Well, I would say, ideally, put it on a bit of baking paper. If you don't have that and your trays aren't non-stick, then yeah, just grease them. But this has got butter in it, so it's going to release some grease naturally. So I've never done more than just put it on a bit of parchment paper. Okay, we don't need to knot it, that's fine. So that's how it will look if you've got dough. If you've used margarine and you've got a softer mix, what I would do is stretch your cling film out so it's lying in front of you, and then tip your mixture onto the cling film and roll it roughly. Then you might find what we're going to do is we're going to chill it, and I think it's still an idea with the margarine that we chill it. But what you might find with the margarine, if it doesn't chill to the point that you can cut it, get a spoon, just a dessert spoon, and scoop some out and put it as a ball and just press it down a little bit. With 2 fingers, just press it down a little bit, and they will spread out naturally in the oven. So you don't need to have them the same kind of flatness as this. You'd have it more, let me just take a bit off so I can show you what I would do. I would do that for margarine when it's been chilled, and then I would just press it down a little bit. So, does that help?
Jill Pink wants to know, what do you do after the extras have been added to the mix?
So once you've got everything, flour and your extra mix, give it a good mix so it's all well combined. And you should have your dough. As I said, if you have a looser dough, you can add a little bit more flour, but it will be, if it's margarine, that's why. So you're just going to tip it onto your cling film and mould it whilst it's in the cling film.
Remember, at the end of when you're baking all of this, remember to wash your hands.
We do need to wash our hands again, don't we, when we're all done?
Sheila's saying this is fun.
I'm glad! We're enjoying ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we
So,
get some...
Max, could you pass me the tray, please?
Yep.
Okay. So here you go. So we're going to put that one on. Do you want to do some more?
Yeah.
Okay. We really should be using a chopping board rather than my work surface, but for the purpose of video, so we're going to go there. Push.
You can make marks on this.
Well, we don't want to.
So, please use a cutting board.
Yeah, use a cutting board. Don't be like us. We just didn't get one out in time.
So
There
it
we
might
go.
damage your table, like...
It's not damaging. We're fine. We'll be very light. So if you can see what we're using, we've got a silicone sheet. I use these because we bake a lot, and it's recyclable. You can use it over and over again. So if you haven't got them, they actually are a really good investment. They don't work with like lining a cake tin because they're quite thick, but they're very good for just everyday use on a baking tray. Once you have got to that stage, and I would like to know, we're fine, Max, thank you. When people have got to the same stages, obviously sorry, I've jumped ahead because I'm useless. How many people have got it into cling film? That's the stage you're at the moment.
They're asking how long they have to chill in the fridge
Yeah.
for.
So I was going to say, when you've got to this stage, pop it in the fridge, and I would leave it for an hour. You should be able to pick it up, and rather than it do that, it should stay to its shape. Bear with us. No, we're not. We're going to put this in. Right. Close that up. Right,
Yeah,
we're back.
Asked what do you do after you wrap the dough, so that's putting it into the fridge.
So yeah, so once you've wrapped the dough, put it in the fridge, leave it for an hour or so until it's just a bit firmer, so that you can pick it up and you can slice it. And you can see you get a really good slice on that. It doesn't squish at all. As I said, if you've got margarine and it's a bit softer, use a spoon, do a dollop, and just press it down on the baking tray, and you will be fine. They will taste lovely. How much is a dollop? That's a good question. So a dollop, I would say, is using a dessert spoon, filling it, and then just scooping it off and giving it a little press. We've got another question.
What's the black thing you placed your biscuits on in the tray?
This is a silicone baking mat. If you don't have this, to be honest, I could probably put it straight on my tray, or use parchment paper or baking paper. We just use these rather than baking paper because I can reuse them, so it just saves on buying paper and wasting a bit. Yes, Max?
Why do you chill biscuit dough?
So chill biscuit dough because the butter that we have melted a little bit maybe, or we had it at room temperature, and then we've stirred it and we've softened the mix by putting it back into to put it back in the fridge, or put it in the fridge rather. It makes it nice and firm because it makes that butter really hard again. So the margarine users, it will make it harder, but not as much as butter because they're just different contents. But it will still make your dough easier and firmer to use. And then when you put it in the oven, it doesn't give the mixture a chance to spread out as far because it's nice and chilled. These will keep their form more. And then here's what I made earlier. Max, could we have the plate, please? Thank you. There we go. So here's our biscuits, and you can see they've spread out a little bit. I'm afraid I did leave them in the oven for probably about a minute longer than I should have done, but they're still lovely. They're just a little bit more brown around the edges. So that's the kind of size that they will get to. And each of these, as I said, it's about a finger's width that I've cut them when you get to that stage.
Tracy Ann Simpson says she's loving the matching aprons.
Oh, we like a bit of matching, don't we? We need to get like a mini version for you though, because it's rather long on you, isn't it?
Yeah, because
I have to speak up a bit because it's far away.
At the Star Baker parties, if you order one, then you get mini aprons.
Yeah, so as I said, I don't do so much online tutorials. It's a bit of a first for us, but we do host Star Baker parties for children, and we host a party for we've done 6 and we've done 12 children, and they can bake with us, and we bring everything along, and we do have little aprons for that, but we grabbed a big one for you, didn't we, today? Yeah. You want to eat it, don't you? She's going to eat. Are you going to tell everyone? Does it taste nice? No, not on your nose. Yes, Max?
How long in the oven?
Good question. So once you've got them on your tray, you need to put it in the oven for about 12 minutes. So keep an eye on them. You will smell them when they're ready, but a little bit golden brown.
Can the dough go in the freezer for half an hour instead?
So I've actually tried this. Yes, you can, but it's not as good as leaving it to thoroughly chill in the fridge, because I got a bit impatient and thought I'd freeze it too. But you can try it, yeah, it still will have an effect if you really want to eat them fast.
Could you sprinkle them with caster sugar?
Yes. You can also, you can sprinkle them with caster sugar before putting them in, and when you're finished, when they come out the oven after you've baked them, they will be soft. You need to leave them on the baking tray for a few minutes to become hard. Leave them, and then if you have a rack, put them on the rack for a while, just 10 minutes, and they'll be ready to eat, and they'll be slightly warm, and they'll be lovely with a cup of tea or something like that.
Now a sprinkle of sugar.
Oh no, you can't have a sprinkle of sugar. As are done. Yes, Max?
If we were to bake without chilling, would you be able to place on the tray in a ball and flatten and spread as it bakes?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can bake them. They will just spread out. So I think if you're going to bake straight away, I probably would do it a bit higher and a bit smaller, and let them spread naturally. So yeah, definitely, if it's something that you want to do straight away, then have a go. It will just spread out a little bit more.
Tracy was impressed with the aprons, is asking where they're from.
Oh, so it's our own aprons, but we have been talking, because we've had more time to talk, about doing some merchandise. So maybe we could do Boozy Baker aprons for people to order on our shop. If that's an idea, if that's something that you'd like, or oven gloves or tea towels with Boozy t-shirts, hoodies.
Kim Thackeray.
Please do post your pictures as well. I would love to see them and all the results. It might be an idea to put it under the event or put it to our page. And we might do some more of these if they've been popular. Just follow us, give us a like, and keep up to date with what we're doing.
Sheila's asked what gluten-free flour could they use instead.
Yes, you can use gluten-free flour. It tends to be quite fine, so you might want to use a bit more of it. If you're using butter or margarine, I don't know, but you might want to just put another couple of dessert spoons worth of flour in it.
We tend to use Doves as well for our gluten-free.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got Max wanting a biscuit as well. There we go.
Josie's licking the bowl right now.
I usually want.
You do normally lick the bowl. You just move straight onto the his one I made earlier instead.
Adam Shoutout says Star Baker parties are the best. They've had 2.
Yeah, thank you very much. I am thinking we'll do maybe cupcakes, or maybe we'll just go completely out there and do pizza making or something. Pizza making, couldn't we?
Gemma Kendrick's asked again how long in the fridge.
So if I were you, I would put them in for an hour.
And Gemma Hines, where are we based?
Oh, we're in Denmead in Hampshire. We post out across the UK, and we're doing local hand delivery to PO7 and PO8 postcodes.
How long does the dough last if you don't want to cook it at all?
So
cook
this
it all?
one's been in the fridge for a week, and as you can see, and it's gone at least a week. I would imagine you could put it in for a couple of weeks and it'll be fine.
You got new watchers in Becky Smith, Paru, and Charlotte Van Wyk.
Hello.
What temperature shall we set the oven for, please?
180.
Gemma's. Sorry, missed how long to cook for. I used
That's
margarine
all right.
but managed to get it rolled.
Oh, brilliant. So 12 minutes should be fine. After about 10 minutes, particularly if you don't get along with your oven, just check them. You're not going to make anything sink. It's not like a cake. So just check it. You'll be able to smell when they're ready. But as I said, just a bit of golden colour on them and they'll be good. Just make sure that when they're out the oven, you let them set for a while, because they come out and they're really soft, and then they'll set.
Arlene's asked, do they have to preheat the oven first to reach 180 before placing the cookie dough in?
Yes, make sure you preheat it.
Fiona Wright's asked, can you do this more? This is fab.
Yes. Yes, we can. I mean, obviously, we've done a free workshop and we've thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's really good for our followers to offer more things. But if you can give us a like, a share, we'd really appreciate it. Mr. Boozy Baker has been furloughed. This is really important to us that we keep our shop going, and we keep everyone knowing about Boozy Bakers. So yeah, hopefully should we do some more? Yeah?
Yeah, we've got
from Erin.
Len, Janet Gilbert, yes please, be nice to make a cake. Debbie Stimson, pizza baking would be great.
Yeah, I'm thinking pizza. Well, with Star Baker parties, we do cupcakes. And we were thinking about doing other things. So, I mean, we could do pizza making, we could do scones. We could make some maybe soda bread or something.
If we did pizza, I think I will actually be leading it, because I've made it from scratch lots of times.
You have?
I've done it in many different places.
Yeah.
And also other things.
Yeah.
Jill Pinks asks, if I want to use a biscuit cutter and roll it out, do I need to chill as well?
I would. So I make bigger cookies as well, and I would chill and then roll out and then cut them out, and then again they'll hold their shape a bit better.
Tracy Ann Simpson, not had chance to hear you fully. Can it be rewatched as I've got 3 kids under 4? So
Yes, we'll be saving the video and it will be online for a couple of weeks. So absolutely. And if you have any questions, you can message us as well and we'll happily answer them. We have got the kids with us all the time, so we are trying to keep up with things. But yes, we can message you as well.
Penny Neat, thank you. Can't wait for the hours chilling to be up.
I know, sorry, we've teased you with that. Here's one I made earlier. You could also, for a bit of added fun, you could always decorate these with some royal icing and sprinkles. So if you get a bit of icing sugar if it's to hand, a bit of water or lemon juice if you want to add a bit of zest, and then just mix it. You only need a teaspoon or so of liquid into your icing sugar. Mix it up until it's a bit of a paste. And then you could drizzle over the top, add some sprinkles, and a bit of extra fun for the kids later on. Yes, Max. Say that again. A joke. Oh, yes. Sorry, I've had a request for a shout out to Boundary Oak School.
We've got one of Max's schoolmates on here.
Who have we got from Max's school?
Joe
then?
Peace.
Thomas Peace.
Thomas.
Yeah.
So I hope you've had fun, Thomas. And yes, I hope you'll enjoy it. I think it might be going onto one of your lesson plans.
Kim Thackeray loves the merchandise idea.
Oh, excellent.
Gemma Kendrick, thank you, Michelle. Really fun, and Mabel managed it all by herself.
Oh, well done, Mabel.
Melinda has asked for scones and pizza, please.
Scones and pizza.
Yeah, more scones. There's plenty for scones.
We might have to change the camera around because the Mr. Boozy Bakers is the boss of cheese scones. So we might have to do a different one, or maybe put a child behind the camera. Yes.
Can you also shout out to Hambledon?
Oh, and a shout out to Hambledon School too. So yes, no problem.
What would be good is that when you have chilled them and baked them, it'd be great if you can send us pictures of what you've made.
Yes, lots of pictures. Keeps us entertained too to see what everyone's doing. It's fun.
Rob, my daughter enjoyed this too. Thank you. We'd like to do more until we can start ordering cupcakes from you again. Your cupcakes are delicious.
Thank you.
Dale Batchelor, thank you. Really enjoyed it. We'll send some pics once they're cooked.
Do. If you are looking for a naughty treat and you don't want to cook, we have got a range of brownies on our online shop, and they are very, very tasty. Erin is constantly after them. So what flavours have we got up there at the moment? Smarties.
I don't think we're having any more
We've got
Aero ones right now.
We will do Aero ones soon. We've just got to get hold of some. We've got Bailey's hot chocolate brownies, Biscoff brownies, and
Cream.
Cream egg.
No, we did cream egg last week. We've got Reese's cups and peanut butter.
Fudge.
What about Hot Baileys?
Fudge.
Fudge ones as well.
No, I don't think they're online.
Oh, right.
No, we will be doing fudge.
Yeah.
We keep changing it every week. We're going to add different flavours.
Right, so we're getting thank yous from Tamara, Usher, Gemma, Shalina, who's in Cowplain, Tina, Carol,
Thank you for being with us and doing this with us. We
Sheila,
really have fun.
Anne, Margaret.
Well, I think, shall we say thank you to everyone?
Carol Puttock received your yummy brownies last week, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Sorry if we're going too fast.
We're not going too fast. I think everyone's got their cookies in the fridge now.
Yeah,
So-
and one more thing.
What's the one more thing?
I liked my cookie a lot, but you guys might not like them because everyone has taste buds.
Different taste buds, yeah.
Yeah, different taste.
I think most people like biscuits. You can't go wrong. We're going to leave it there. Oh, sorry.
Jane Carpenter, how many biscuits did you say the dough can make?
Oh, so it depends how thick you cut them out, but about 12, 14 biscuits you should be able to make. Yeah.
Again, OMG Biscoff brownies from Rob.
I know, they're really good. I don't know if you can see, but we have a lot of biscuits behind us. And we've been very good because we won't eat the stock. Yeah, we've got those on the store. We have had a few issues with Royal Mail deliveries. So we have added, we've got things with long shelf lives, and then we're putting them in the post a bit earlier as well, and they're posted first class. So that's all the information's on our shop. But yeah, I've got to admit the brownies are my new favourite thing to make and eat a lot. Yes.
When you were talking about the pizza and the scones, we could show them about the bread. It's because
No.
we can just show them very quickly some yeast which we're trying to
Oh yeah, Erin's been trying to make yeast, but no, Erin, another time, no. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. Good luck with your baking. Show us what you've got. We'd love to see the pictures of your finished bakes. Give us a like. And if there's anything you'd like to see from us, just message us. We're only at the end of the phone. So thank you guys. Max, you coming back on? Yeah? Thank you very much for helping with all the questions.
You're welcome.
Right, enjoy your afternoon. Can you say goodbye?
What if we get...
Erin.
Can I just say something though?
You always say something.
Please.
Say goodbye. Ask me later.
Bye.